Hi there, this is Anastasia with New Funding, and I am here to show you how to use our hard money calculator. First of all, let's go ahead and find it. So you are on our website, which is www.newfundingresources.com. And here you can see the menus, and we need to go under borrowers, and here you see it, hard money calculator right here. So this is how we find it. Once you're on that page, you scroll down until you see the calculator itself, and now we can start. So here's in this section, which is the first and the most important section of the calculator, you putting your deal fundamentals, which we always know, we know what they are, right? It's a purchase price, it's your renovation costs, and it's your after repair value. So let's go ahead and let's make a little bit of adjustments here just to have fun. So let's say you're buying something for 215,000. Or let's do 225 since I just typed it in. 225, and let's say your renovation cost would be 70,000. And let's assume that your after repair value would be 380. So let's just put 380 there. How soon are you planning to repay your loan? Let's keep it 12 months. Obviously, your goal would be to repay it as soon as possible, but let's be realistic here and let's put 12 months. And let's keep our maximum loan amount at 65% of the after repair value. So that's what we have. 225 purchase price, 70,000 renovation cost, after repair value of 380. And let's click next. So this is the section that makes us think about all costs associated with the transaction. And there's three categories of costs that you will have as a real estate investor. It's costs associated with buying your property, costs associated with owning your property. Sometimes they are referred to as carrying costs. And then finally, costs associated with selling your property. Now, I do understand that some of you will be keeping the property in their real estate portfolio, and you might not have those costs associated with selling property, but you probably would be refinancing. So instead of selling costs, you will have refinancing costs. Okay, but for this particular example, let's assume you're selling the property. All right, so costs associated with buying property, title company charges. We don't know what they would be. The calculator kind of makes the best assumptions there, but I do think here it's probably budgeting a little bit more than it needs to. So let's, instead of 4,500, let's put 3,500. Transfer recordation taxes. Again, we don't know what they are, but they look pretty reasonable. Lender points, 3%. Let's just assume that. And let's assume there's no other closing cost here. So, or whatever the closing costs are, they would be already included in the title company charges. You know what? Let's just go ahead and be conservative. Let's just put another 1,000 for closing costs. Okay, so that's what we have for costs associated with buying the property. Costs associated with owning the properties, what are they? Of course, it's the interest rate, the payments that you will be making to the lender during your loan being outstanding. It's property taxes that you will be paying as the owner of the property. It's your insurance premium. You will need to maintain proper insurance policy for the duration of the loan. There might be some other annual expenses. What can they be? Like, for example, HOA fees. You might need to mow your lawn or do something like that. So here is some of the examples, what it would be. Let's say your interest rate is, let's put it at 11.5, for example. Annual property taxes. Let's just reduce them a little bit. They might be a little bit too high here. So let's put 2,200. Annual property insurance premium. Let's keep it like this. And let's assume there's no other annual expenses that we can think of. Which brings us to the next section, costs associated with selling the property. First of all, as a seller, you would be paying for both listing agent and the buyer's agent. So let's say you're going to negotiate, and between the two of them, you're going to pay them 2% to one, 2% to another one, so 4%. So we're going to keep it at 4%. Transfer recordation taxes that you will be splitting with the buyer of your property. Let's go ahead and just put it at 2,000, something like that. Let's do 2,500. Again, being conservative. And that's it here. So unless you have contributions to new buyers, but for our example, let's just keep it simple here. So once we reviewed and adjusted all these costs, let's go ahead and click Analyze. Here's the Analyze button, and let's wait until it analyzes it. Okay, so now we're getting to the fun part, which is the analysis, and the system does a great job on analyzing your scenario here. So first of all, let's scroll down here, and this is the box where the system actually provides you with basic underwriting analysis. So it says here in your example, okay, looks like a decent profit and a respectable ROI. It does not say it with every deal. Sometimes it can say, wow, you are making a lot of money in this transaction. I'm very excited for you. In some other cases, it says, you know what, I'm just a little bit concerned about your profits. Are you sure you're estimating everything okay? And so it kind of gives you a hint what it thinks from the underwriting perspective. Here on the top section, it pretty much gives you the bottom line, the profit that you expected to make, your return on investment, in this case 6%, and how much cash you would be contributing yourself to the transaction. And this section here, or this line here, is annualized return on cash you invested. Might sound a little bit confusing, but we have a box here which explains what actually that is. And it is percentage of borrower's cash contribution that comes back to the borrower as a profit amortized over 12 months. So what does it mean specifically? So if you invested 65,000, you'll get back the 65,000 plus you will get back this profit, and that is what this number refers to. Okay. So let's scroll down here to these two charts, which are analyzing in a visual way transactions costs and profit analysis. So let's say here the green button represents your after repair value. Remember, we put 380,000. This is what the buyer would be paying you at the end of your transaction when you're selling your home, 380,000. This is what we're counting for. Out of this 380,000, your initial purchase price would be 225,000. This is what you paid for your property. That in orange would be the renovation cost that you spend. In yellow, there would be closing costs, holding costs, selling costs, all the costs associated with your transaction. And finally, this is your profit in purple. So it helps you visualize in a very simple way how this 380,000 would be allocated. Okay. And the chart on the right here represents what is the return on cash you've invested. So again, your initial contribution, remember, you would be asked to bring around 65,000 to the transaction. And then when you sell the property, you get the 65,000 back, right? Because if you were not getting the 65,000 back, you would be losing money. And if you would be only getting 65,000 back, that basically means you didn't make any money. You invested 65,000, you got back 65,000. However, this is not the case in your transaction. And we are making on top of that, we're making 20,000. So we're investing 65,000 and then we're making 20,000. Okay. All right, so that is not everything that our calculator can do. So let's click to the next page here. And that is the detailed summary of your transaction. Your maximum loan amount would be $247,000. This is what the lender would give you. Your monthly interest only payments would be $2,367 a month. Your contribution to the transaction would be $65,498. And in this particular case, your maximum loan amount would be based on 65% of the ARV, or after repair value, and your loan to cost ratio in this particular case would be 84%. What is loan to cost ratio? It is percentage of your purchase price in your rehab budget that is covered by our loan of $247,000. Okay, so everything is pretty transparent for you. Then it details the cost. Again, purchase price $225,000, rehab cost $70,000. This is the cost associated with buying your property. This is what we entered on the second page. This is your financing and carrying cost. This is your selling cost. And then finally, again, your net profit, your return on investment, and your annualized return on cash invested. So once you're done, you can go ahead, print the results, click on that button. You can email the results to yourself, or you can go back. Very easy. You can just go click the previous button and you can adjust anything. You can adjust any closing cost, any carrying cost. Again, remember, the whole point is not to look at the best case scenario. The whole point of this calculator is to put numbers that are realistic, because I assume your main goal is to get realistic assessment of your profits, to get a realistic assessment of what whether this transaction is profitable and whether you should jump on it as a real estate investor. So hopefully you got a lot of good information from this hard money calculator. Now you know how to operate it. You can be independent and analyze other deals for yourself here. If you have any questions, please give us a call. Thank you.